Welcome to Aging Fearlessly, a place where we're now examining ABC's series The Golden Bachelor to see how difficult it is under their setting to do the necessary work that it takes to determine the feasibility of prospective romantic partners. I'm your host, Guillermo Vidal. As a follow-up to my previous program about identifying red flags in a prospective romantic partner, I'm providing a few others for you to consider when you're getting to know someone you're serious about. So number one, the person lacks healthy social connections. Now this takes time to figure out because so much of your early time is spent together. But it is an important red flag to discover. Now, it took me about a month to see this in a woman I was dating. It was about then when she revealed that she was estranged from both her parents. In the 4 months we dated, she also disclosed that both of her adult children were not speaking to her and did not want her around their children. She was also suing her employer for back pay and had taken a former live-in boyfriend to court to claim a portion of the funds from the sale of his home, even though the home was his and they had only lived together for 6 months. In the whole time we were together, I never met or heard about any friends that she may have. All the relationships had conflict. This is not normal. Number two, addictions. Although I agree that addiction is a disease, it is important to note that people who are addicted center their lives around what they're addicted to. This is their priority. It will not be the relationship. It's usually pretty easy to tell if someone has a serious addiction or not. For example, I cannot stand being around a smoker. This is easy to know because of the smell that accompanies the use of cigarettes. For me, this is a red flag. Now, for others, smoking is not. Now, alcoholism and drug use are a little harder to detect, but they're not impossible. I dated a woman for several months who got shit-faced on alcohol every time we went out. Carrying her and putting her to bed became a predictable routine. Now, if someone's always high when they're around you, chances are good they're addicted to drugs. A gambling addiction is much harder to tell. But you can tell if the person you're dating is always short of cash and asks you often to pay. That's probably a gambler. They're often in a lot of debt and you may hear him complain about this from time to time. Now, you might consider with someone who has an addiction, but they should be completely honest with you in admitting what their addiction is and how they're treating it. Even then, you'll be traveling on a long and treacherous road. Number three, the person you're dating begins to ask you for your personal data, including banking information, by the way. Now, this may seem strange, but it happens a lot in online dating. You connect with someone and soon they begin to ask you to get off the dating site and communicate through your personal contacts. There are a lot of scammers on the online dating sites, so you have to be careful. Make sure you feel comfortable with someone before you share your personal info. But under no conditions, should you give away your bank account numbers. The only reason someone asks you for this info is that they're going to steal from you, period. This is number four, the person's negatively affecting your relationships with friends and family. Now, your friends and family members are an important part of your life. They do not negatively affect the relationship unless they're mean, nasty people. And if they were, you probably don't have a relationship. But having these relationships or not is for you to decide, not a partner, especially someone who just came into your life. If you're noticing your new romantic partner is doing something to negatively affect those relationships or undermine them, you need to let them go. The fact is, healthy relationship should not affect other healthy relationships. Let this person go. Their goal is to isolate you. You don't want that. Number 5 is gaslighting. Plainly stated, gaslighting is when someone always makes you feel guilty and responsible for everything that happens to you in a relationship. This can happen so much that in time you begin to question your own sanity and judgment. Gaslighting is a horrible manipulative strategy by the gaslighter to do anything he or she wants and then make you responsible for it. If you see this happening to you, run. Now here's what you need to know. No one, including you and me, is going to be perfect. There are areas that are bound to need improvement in all of us, but they're not grounds to end a relationship if both partners are willing to acknowledge these imperfections and work on them. But if you're contemplating a relationship and something comes up where you feel like your health and mental well-being are threatened, that is a red flag. If this is you, then you need to end it before you're swallowed up by these negative behaviors. Okay, that's all for now. Thank you for looking in. See you soon.